my graphic up. So it's the part of the show, people, where we bring our special guests on. They're not just UK bands. We have them from all over the place. If Janice can be bothered to get them on or contact them. But I think this one's come from our dear friend, Paul Kirkers, because he's arranged this. So that's absolutely wonderful. And he was on our special show the other week, if you remember that. So anyway, without further ado, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine. Good to see you, Kirk.
Yeah, and you. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Christian, and I'm the front man and guitarist of the band Mansfield, and
Yeah,
we're based in Copenhagen, Denmark.
yeah, I was just going to say, what I was going to say to you, listen to that track because we've just played it. There's no twang of Danish in there. I'd say you're from over this side of the water. And then when you started speaking, then I'm like, he's not Danish. Where are you from?
Actually, I am from Denmark, but I used to live in the UK and in Ireland as well. So
Really?
that's where I picked up my English.
Wow. Because it said you've shared the stage with quite a few. If you shared a stage with a band that we've interviewed as well, well, a couple of them. All the Young. You've played with them, haven't you?
Yeah, good friends of ours.
Yeah. We've had Marseille on. So they're
Yeah, know
absolutely,
them. Top
absolutely,
lads.
absolutely brilliant. So what? So you actually are Danish. Came to the UK to live for a bit, did you, with your parents, and then went back again? Is that what's happened?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Wow. How long you been back in over there, Denmark?
Oh, I've lived in Denmark. Well, I've been in Copenhagen for more than 20 years now, so quite a long time actually. But when I was younger, I moved to Ireland, and then I moved to the UK after that. But I grew up in Denmark with British teachers teaching me at school.
Ah, that's
So I
yeah.
had when we had English lessons at school, I had teachers from England.
Right. Well, they weren't from Manchester, was they, or
No,
Liverpool?
yeah,
They were from proper speaking places because otherwise you'd have had a twang. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. That's true. I think yeah. I can't remember whereabouts in England they were from. I've probably the south. I was just a kid back then, you know what I mean?
yeah, I
So
was just a kid back then. That'd be a
yeah,
great title for a song, wouldn't it? I was just a kid back then.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah, it's good. So tell us a bit about the band. So are the rest of the band from Denmark? Are you all they've come from all over? Because we have that as well. What's the makeup?
Yeah. Well, we're all based in Copenhagen, where we live. Um, Three of us are Danish, and our bass player is from Germany, actually. But he's lived in Denmark for a long time, so he's absolutely fluent in Danish, and He's been working in Denmark as well for a long time.
Excellent,
But
excellent.
yeah,
So you've got an advantage there because of your accent when you're singing. You know what I mean? You do sound like you're English. You sound so
yeah,
that you could, because sometimes when you get some bands and they're from Europe, you can sort of get a twang with it, can't you? You know, when they're singing. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. So
yeah,
what got you all into music then? What drove you? Fame and fortune, or
yeah. Not fame or fortune, I'd say. Probably more the passion of music. Um, well, we all grew up listening to the Beatles and the
right?
Kinks and the Who and Genesis and the Police and stuff like that. So we've all been, big fans of music since we were kids. And like I sing and I play guitar, I play rhythm guitar, and I write the songs in the band. And then we've got a lead guitarist called Matthias, who's totally into rock and roll as well. We've got a drummer called Philip, and then our bass player, the German guy, is called Matthias also. So it's just the four of us, and I suppose what got us together in the first place was the interest in music and the passion to create a band.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's how it started out, and we started out about 10 years ago, actually, just jamming, in the rehearsal room and trying to find our way, trying to find out what we wanted to do with the music and with the band. And then we got signed to a record label back in 2019. We'd been sort of just gigging and writing songs and recording some demos and stuff before that. But back in 2019, we were discovered by a Danish label. Then we signed a record deal and put out the first album in 2020.
Excellent. You still with them then?
Yeah.
You still connected to the record label? Still.
Yeah. We just released a new single, the one you played, which was also released by the same label. So we've been working with the same label for the last 5 years, five,
Ex-
6 years actually. Yeah.
Excellent. So you all do it full time then? Do you do full time musicians?
No, unfortunately, it would be nice to be able to do that, but money is tight in the music industry, especially in Denmark. So we all have, sort of ordinary jobs. So, like, actually, we all work as teachers of some kind. I teach at an upper secondary school. The same does Matthias, our guitarist, and the drummer also works as a teacher, and the bass player teaches music and
Wow.
works at a computer company. So we all sort of work with young kids or with youngsters, and then we do our music apart from that.
Excellent.
So it's just to to earn a living, and then we can do the music.
I know it's a shame, isn't it? It's tough because it's like, yeah, you produce great music. Listen to that track. It's absolutely fun. It deserves to be played and played, and people come to see you and what have you, and earn money out of it. It's just crying shame. That's why I want to do the show so that we can
Yeah,
get
brilliant, mate. Yeah,
get
yeah,
people on like you. I mean, there's not many people in the UK who know potentially, unless they've been to one of your gigs when you've been gigging with someone else, would know who you was. So
yeah,
the, I'll get my words out in a minute. So
yeah.
gigging with the bands like All the Young, where was that? Was that only over in Copenhagen or was it over in the UK?
Both actually. We played with all the young like 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah. So that was brilliant. We've played with them. Um, I can't remember how many times we played with them in Copenhagen a few times, and then we played with them in London a couple of years ago. Um, and Marseille, we've played with in Hull, Liverpool, Derby, I think,
Oh,
and
okay.
London as well. Yeah, we played with Marseille in London. And last year we played with Shambolics from
Yes.
Scotland.
Yeah.
Brilliant band. We supported Shambolics. Very
Brilliant.
good band. Yeah. So we've played with different UK bands like Joe Symes and the Loving Kind from Liverpool. We played with Sunwheel, who are also a
Oh,
Derby-based
we've
band.
had them on
Yeah,
here. They're brilliant.
yeah,
They're your
great
'90s band that
lads.
reformed. I love
Great.
them. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing. So, and we've actually made friends with different bands in the UK. And like when you mentioned all the young, we could talk about Ryan, the lead singer. That you probably know him. Like
Yeah.
Ryan is based in Copenhagen,
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
from Stoke-on-Trent, where I used to
Yeah.
spend time. And Ryan, well, Paul Kirkley and Ryan and I sort of got in touch online because I think Paul discovered Mansfield online. He saw that there was a band playing British indie music, and we were from Copenhagen. And Ryan had moved to Copenhagen at that time, so we all got in touch through Paul Kirkley actually, and
Brilliant.
Ryan and I became good friends. So we've spent a lot of time together in Copenhagen, and then we've played gigs in Denmark and in the UK as well.
Excellent. Yeah, we do
So
know. And
that's
we had him
good.
on because I'll get you to do one of these later. But this is him from All the Young.
Hello,
All
this is
right.
Ryan from All the Young, and you're listening to Duggy Stone Radio.
There you
Wonderful.
go.
Love that.
Yeah, brilliant.
So we do that. We ask all our guests to give us an answer strop. The rationale behind it adds to the show. But the second thing is when one of them becomes absolutely megastars, I've got their jingle.
Yeah, that's
Do you know
brilliant.
what I mean? Laying,
Yeah,
laying
yeah, yeah, yeah.
little acorns
Like
and all that.
we had kind of a funny experience. Was it last year? I think we were in Derby doing a gig, and then we did a like an interview in the backstage area of the venue where we were playing. And then all of a sudden, we had this geezer from Liverpool joining us backstage, and that was Barry Sutton from the Lars.
Wow. Great.
And he was just there, he was in the audience because he was a
Mad.
friend of another band that we played with, and so we got to meet Barry, and who's one of the members of the Last. That was
There
quite
she
fun.
goes. What a great track that is.
Yeah, great
There
track.
she
Yeah, I've
goes.
been a fan of the
Oh,
Last for
awesome.
a long
Absolutely
time.
awesome, man.
Amazing
That
band.
that and that must be really good. That must be a really weird sensation when you meet someone who has been up there and you know of them, you know the music, and they come and talk to you backstage. That must be just surreal.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And that's the funny thing about the music industry. You get to meet some people along the way, you know, and you never thought you were going to meet them or perform with them or, you know. But yeah, we've met some interesting people along the way. I think it was probably the same year I got to meet Mark Morris from the Blue Tones, who was a great guy. He and the guitarist from the Blue Tones did a gig in Denmark, and we played in the same town as them. So I sent him a message asking him, "Do you mind if I come and join you and say hello?" And he's like, "Yeah,
bring your guitar and your microphone." And
but he was totally cool about it, you know. So yeah, I got to spend some time with Mark and his mate from the Blue Tones.
Excellent.
It was good. It was meeting one of my heroes.
No, that is absolutely brilliant. Manta Ray, Billy from Manta Ray, who's also in the band, says, "What's your recording process? Do you use a particular studio or is it all DIY?"
We work together with a Danish producer called Morten Bue, who's been working with various people in the music industry. Primarily, he works with Danish artists, but he's worked with international producers as well, like Flood, who's worked with U2 and Depeche Mode. And he's also worked with Tore Johansson, who's produced the Cardigans and Franz Ferdinand. But he's top guy. He's from Denmark, but he's a top producer here in Copenhagen. And we've recorded our music with Morten at Black Tornado Studios in Copenhagen, and then I've done the vocals and, you know, some keyboards and guitar overdubs in his studio. He's got his own studio, which is just a sort of a small studio in comparison to the other one. But no, actually, we let somebody else do the recording process, and then we just play the instruments and do our stuff.
Well, let the specialists do their bit, and you do your bit. That's how
yeah. I'm not very good at that. I'm not very skilled when it comes to recording and stuff like that. I just sing and play music. That's what I do. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I just sing. Absolutely wonderful. I'm going to ask you, because it's only you here, so it's all on you. There's four of you in the band. I'm going to ask you the zombie apocalypse question, which is, if there was a zombie apocalypse, which band member would die first?
Which band member would die first?
Yeah.
Wow,
it's a serious question, you know. Serious questions on this show. Don't get this on Radio X.
It will probably be me, because I'm not very good at fighting zombies, I think. I don't know, to be honest. Well,
it's a bit unfair because you're on your own.
I'll tell you what now, mate. The guitarist and the drummer are in really good shape because they work out a lot and they run and stuff. So they would be fast. And the bass player and I, you know, we're kind of like the chill guys who like, you know, enjoying a pint and stuff. So I reckon we wouldn't be as fast at you know, running away from something. So we'd probably die first, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. It does make total sense. See, the funny thing is, when you've got a band all together, like four people, you ask that question. Yeah. Virtually every band member will point to the same person and go, him. It's mad, honestly. It's really good, but it's a good question, isn't it? I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Wonderful stuff. Have you had any disasters on stage? Because I like this question as well. At the time, it's horrific for you as a band, but afterwards we can all chuckle and laugh about it.
Disasters on stage. Trying to think of something. A disaster on stage an example of that would be a gig we did. I think it was last year, and I had a cold and pneumonia actually. And trying to pull off that gig with a feeble voice, that was a bit of an experience. You know, that was not really a pleasant experience. So that was kind of a disaster. I managed to pull through because I had a vocal coach that helped me out just before the gig. So I did some warming up exercises and stuff, and then I just, you know, went on stage and I did the gig.
Oh man!
But that was pretty. that was pretty tough. But I can't really remember anything going absolutely wrong on stage apart from that. Like, a guitar amp not working, or somebody breaking strings, or
we've had all sorts,
losing a drumstick or anything.
Loads of it. We've had all them.
yeah. I mean, I've tried that in other bands, and I've played at one of the greatest and biggest venues in Copenhagen called Vega, which is a really popular venue in Copenhagen. I remember playing that venue like a long time ago, and the monitors weren't working.
Oh, nightmare!
Feck. I mean, that was dreadful. Being on stage with thousands of people in front of you and going, can't hear a thing on stage. That was dreadful. But apart from that, I've never tried anything as dreadful as that.
Brilliant. I don't know how you did that, because if I'm ill like that, that's horrendous. I don't know how you can perform.
Yeah.
Well, Mansoray has got a follow-up question for that, so he's been listening.
Brilliant.
He says,
Brilliant.
Did you tell the crowd you were ill, and were they sympathetic, or did you just power on not telling them?
I didn't say a word about it because I thought, because I was so ill. I really was, I was so ill, and I went on stage, and I thought, if I try to pretend that I'm okay, and I just move around on stage a little bit and do a bit of dancing, and I sing and I play guitar, and people might not notice.
Yeah,
they might just think that everything's all right because the guitars are loud and everything's just loud.
I don't know.
So I just fake it till I make it. So that was the way I handled the situation.
Fair play to you, because when I've got a bit of flu and what have you, I don't want to even get off the couch. So hats off to you for that. So that's probably one of your low points. What's been your highlight of your career so far in music? What just stands out for you?
Oh, there's been quite a few things, actually. I would say when we did our first show at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. That was a highlight.
Nice.
Absolutely, yes. Because I've been a fan of the Beatles since I was a kid. And I've always been, really in awe of Lennon and McCartney and their songwriting. Everybody in the Beatles was just brilliant, So doing our first show at the Cavern Club was a turning point in our career, I think. Another thing worthwhile mentioning would be the first time we heard one of our singles played on national radio.
Awesome.
That's a dream come true for a band when you hear that.
Awesome.
And when we put out the first album, it was during the pandemic, or the pandemic broke out just a couple of months before the album came out. So we didn't know how it was going to turn out. But all of a sudden, I think it was like 1 or 2 days before the album came out, they started playing our songs on the radio. And then like 2 weeks later, we were Album of the Week on Danish National Radio, and that was amazing.
Awesome.
So, but listening to your own songs on the radio for the first time is that's quite something.
Yeah.
But there've been many interesting points, I think.
Nice. We're all with you on those points, aren't we? The Beatles, they come up all the time, and there's some Beatle haters. Oh, the Beatles crap. But actually, people have got to understand at that time what they were doing was just totally radical to what had been before. And what they did sounds simple, but it's not. And for me, I thought George Harrison was absolutely outstanding. When you listen to him, vocally, he was absolutely brilliant. And John Lennon was just, he was an enigma.
Incredible band.
Fantastic tunes. And shame, but there you go. So, but there's lots of people like him, and they've influenced, whatever everybody's listening to, that's the thing that's influenced it all, and it all the way through. You know what I mean? It's all come from that. So it's what changed rock and roll for forever, really. Wonderful.
Yeah, you're right.
Wonderful. So what's different being in Copenhagen to being in the UK? Do you feel a difference? Do you prefer it there, or is there some things you miss from this crazy island?
Yeah, well, good question and big question. I would say that the music industry in the UK is way better than in Denmark. The indie scene in the UK is bigger and it's better.
Yeah. Denmark
is just different. The good thing about Denmark is that the venues are really, really great. Like, you have excellent conditions when you perform at a venue in Denmark. So that's luxury, and you get paid when you get paid for a gig in Denmark. You get paid really well. That's great, but there's a lot of focus on the pop industry in Denmark. It's not really the rock industry that kind of makes it big. We have a lot of pop artists, and I would say Denmark sort of revolves around itself and the Danish language. So if you want to make it big in Denmark, sing in Danish, write pop music, and be an artist where you sing and perform in Denmark and you sing in Danish, and then you'll make it big. But if you do that, you can't really make it internationally, can you?
Yeah,
so that's sort of the issue. And like, we've made the decision in our band to write our songs the way we do, sound the way we do, and to sing in English, because in that way we will have a much broader audience. And we find it much more interesting to have people from all over the world responding to our music. And it's an incredible feeling to, you know, get a message from somebody in Australia listening to your music, or somebody in the UK, or in India, or Hong Kong, or Canada, or America. And our music has been played all over the world by various radio stations. So that's just an amazing thing.
It's great, isn't it? It's when you think that, it's a good. From doing this, we used to do a radio show, goes all over the place, and I've done different shows, did country shows, and it's like this now. We're on Mixcloud, and we'll get people from all over. But I've got so many friends that I've never met through. Do you know what I mean? Australia. I know a load of rappers in the States. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Yes.
It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre. I won't come across them, and they ring me. How you doing, Kirk? How you doing? You know what I mean? And it's fantastic, and building those networks up is brilliant. So, where can people? What have you got planned for this rest of the year? Have you got other things going on? You got gigs going on, album coming out, or what's happening there?
Yeah, well, we're doing a show here in Denmark on Saturday, but we're actually planning to come over to the UK in May.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to do. Hopefully, we're going to do 2 shows in Derby in May, and we've just got two gigs booked in Liverpool. So we'll be in Derby on May the 22nd. Then we'll do kind of like I think we'll play at a party or something. Kirkus is organising something on May the 23rd,
and then on May, at his house.
I think so. And on the 24th, we'll take the train to Liverpool, and then we'll actually play at the Cavern.
Nice.
On May the 24th. So if anybody's listening, if you're in Liverpool on May 24th, we'll be at the Cavern Club performing there.
Absolutely wonderful. So where's the best place? Where do you hang out on social media? Is it Instagram mainly, or what?
We've got like our Facebook page is just called Mansfield Band, and then Instagram is called Mansfield CPH for Copenhagen. So, but if you just Google us and write Mansfield Band or Mansfield Copenhagen, we'll pop up. So we're on Facebook, on Instagram, we're on TikTok. I think we're even on X. So
I'm all over the place.
We're on X.
Kirkus has just turned up now at the end of the interview, which is
brilliant.
Really great.
And we've got our YouTube channel as well with music videos, and obviously we're on all the major streaming platforms.
Yeah.
So it's easy to find our music online.
Absolutely wonderful.
If anybody wants to listen to the tunes or watch the videos on YouTube.
Is anything I've not asked you that you wanted to get out or talk about before we wrap things up?
I'd like to say thanks very much to the UK listeners. Everybody's been supporting us, or just discovering the band as we speak. It's a massive pleasure to be in touch with you people and to feel the love and the feedback that we get from the British audience. So thanks very much, guys. Thank you.
It's absolutely awesome. And before you go, can you do me an artist drop for when you become absolutely enormous? And I need to find out what the band's name in a minute. This is Mansfield, and you're listening to Duggy Stone Radio.
Yes. Hello, this is Mansfield, and you're listening to Duggy Stone Radio.
So before we go, I meant to ask you before. Thanks for that. Where's the name come from? Mansfield? Is it where you lived, or what's?
Yeah, well, it came up by coincidence. The story is that I was in the rehearsal room with the band, and we were looking at a map of London, and we came across a street called Mansfield Avenue or Mansfield Road, something like that. And then I just looked at the others and I said, Mansfield, that's a cool name. You know, maybe we should choose that name for the band because it's easy to pronounce, it's easy to spell, and it kind of has a British ring to it. And like when you hear that name, you associate it with the UK.
Definitely.
And then we discovered that there was a town in
that's
England
why I
called
asked you.
Mansfield. Yeah. And we've been to Mansfield. We've done radio interviews in Mansfield.
Yeah, because you just want, you've probably got your picture with Welcome to Mansfield or something, haven't you?
Yeah, that's true, yeah. So Kirkus took us to Mansfield last year.
So Mantre said it's a shit town near Nottingham. So that's
what people say.
That's what people say. Yeah, but it's your name of your band. You've got to be all for it, haven't you? You've got to be all for it. Do you know what I mean?
There's a funny detail to share with you. Like if you look at the single cover of the single cover for Too Much to Handle, the guy who's on the cover of that single is called Declan Land, and he's English and he's from the town of Mansfield.
Oh wow!
And we met him in Copenhagen a few years ago. Like we were supporting John Hassel from the Libertines. He was doing a show in Copenhagen, and we were the support band. And when we came off stage, there was a guy who came up to us and said, "Oh, you sounded great, guys! You brilliant music, brilliant songs." And he was like, "And your name is Mansfield, yeah?" And we go, "Yeah, we're Mansfield." And he said, "Well, I'm from the town of Mansfield in England." And then we just started chatting, and then we've been friends ever since. And then when we were planning to release another single, we thought it would be a kind of a funny thing to use Declan in the music video and for the cover shoot.
Why not?
So there you go.
Absolutely brilliant. Right, I'm going to have to get on with the show, and I feel awful because I could sit here and talk to you for at least another hour because I think you've got so much to talk
mate. We'll do it some other time.
Yeah, this is not a one-hitter. If you speak to Janice or Kirkus and get you back on, we sometimes do a special where we do an hour, at least an hour. We do it on another night, so more than happy to get you on. Wish you all the success for the future and the rest of the band. All your teachers, keep on teaching. And
I'm making music.
Hopefully, because you're coming in May, the sun might be shining in Liverpool for you, which would be great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Man. Excellent.
Okay, well, thank you for now. I've got a band rehearsal in 15 minutes, so I've got to scoot. But thanks very much for now.
You better get out of here, fella. You better get out of here. Anyway,
indeed, I will.
Lovely to speak to you. Speak to you soon, my friend.
You too, mate.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Absolutely wonderful. And thanks to Kirkus for sorting that out for us. Absolutely brilliant. We'll play some tunes, then we'll have another chat in a minute.